Welcome back to another episode of Valuable Coins, where we dive deep into the world of numismatics, uncovering the most valuable and unique coins in the market today. If you're a coin enthusiast, collector, or simply interested in the incredible value of rare coins, you're in the right place. In today's video, we will explore two of the most fascinating and expensive United States coins currently circulating the auction market. First up, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint during the final year of World War II, making it a coin with an important historical background. Like other Lincoln cents of its era, it carries Victor David Brenner's famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which first appeared on the cent in 1909 and has since become one of the most enduring designs in American coinage history. The D Mint mark below the date indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. On the obverse, Lincoln's right-facing bust is shown in detail, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1945 followed by the D Mint mark to the right. The reverse features the classic wheat ears design with two stylized wheat stalks curving upward along the sides. In the center is 1 cent, with the United States of America beneath it, while the motto "E pluribus unum" arcs across the top. Your coin is described as being in dirty condition with some scratches, which means it shows clear evidence of circulation and wear. The dirt and surface marks reduce its eye appeal, making it less attractive to collectors compared to cleaner, sharper examples. Based on your description, the coin likely grades in the good to fine range. This means Lincoln's portrait is still visible but with flattened details in the hair and face, and the lettering remains legible, though parts of the rim may show wear. On the reverse, the wheat stalks are worn, with little or no interior line detail visible. The Denver Mint struck over 266 million wheat cents in 1945, making this one of the more common dates in the series, because so many were produced and survive. Today, circulated 1945D pennies are affordable and widely available to collectors. This common availability keeps values relatively low unless the coin is in a high mint state grade or has a rare error variety in terms of value. A 1945D Lincoln wheat cent in dirty, circulated condition with scratches is typically worth about 5 to 10 cents in today's market. In higher circulated grades, such as very fine or extremely fine, values can rise to 15 to 50 cents. About uncirculated coins usually sell for 75 cents to $1.50, while uncirculated examples begin at around $2 to $5. Coins in bright red, mint state grades, especially MS65 and above, can fetch $25 to $75 or more, depending on eye appeal and demand. The 1945D does not have any major key varieties, but collectors sometimes look for minor double dies, repunched mint marks, or die cracks, which add a small premium. More significant mint errors, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchette, can greatly increase the value, sometimes reaching $50 to $200 depending on rarity and condition. To summarize, your 1945D Lincoln wheat penny in dirty condition with scratches is worth around 5 to 10 cents in today's coin market. While not a rare coin in circulated condition, it is still a collectible piece of American history from the last year of World War II, when coins like this were part of everyday life and commerce. It represents both the resilience of the Lincoln design and the story of America during one of its most defining moments in history. The Washington quarter dated 1995 with a D Mint mark from Denver is a regular circulation coin. But it is important to clarify that it is not silver. By 1995, all quarters struck for everyday use were made of the standard copper-nickel clad composition. Only certain proof or collector coins made in special sets from the U.S. Mint were struck in 90% silver. and those were sold directly to collectors, not released for circulation. If your 1995 D quarter came from regular pocket change or rolls, it will be the clad type, not silver. The obverse of the coin shows George Washington's portrait with the date 1995 beneath it, and the D Mint mark on the right side of the bust, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse still carried the long-used heraldic eagle design with spread wings, perched on arrows with olive branches below. This was the last era of the eagle reverse before the introduction of the state. Quarters in 1999. You describe the coin as being in good condition with a reddish shade and some scratches. Good condition means it has heavy wear, with Washington's hair flattened, the eagle on the reverse showing little feather detail and overall softness in the design. The red shade is not part of the metal itself, but usually a result of toning, staining, or environmental exposure that changes the coins. Surface color. Scratches further reduce the eye appeal and collector desirability, especially since this is a very common issue with hundreds of millions minted. In today's market, a circulated 1995 D quarter in good condition with scratches is generally worth face value. 25 cents. Some collectors might pay a very small premium, perhaps up to 50 cents or $1, if they are filling an album and simply need that date and mint mark. Dealers normally only accept them at face value since supply is abundant. Higher grade examples are more desirable, uncirculated 1995 D quarters. With bright luster and nowhere can sell for $2 to $10 depending on quality. Certified mint state examples at MS65 and above can reach $20 to $40. And the very highest grades sometimes bring more among advanced collectors. But circulated, scratched coins remain common and low in value. The main exception would be a true mint error. Some 1995 quarters have been found with off-center strikes, double dies, or other minting mistakes. Such errors can sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars, depending on rarity and severity. If you suspect your coin looks unusual beyond normal wear and scratches, weighing it or examining it under magnification could help. A true silver 1995 quarter would weigh 6.25 grams, while the regular clad type weighs 5.67 grams, so a quick weight check on a jeweler's scale can confirm if it is one of the special silver proofs. But unless it came from a mint-proof set, the odds are very high that it is simply the clad version. Next up, the 1938 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and it belongs to the later pre-World War II years of the wheat cent series, which ran from 1909 until 1958. By 1938, the Lincoln design by Victor David Brenner had already been in use for nearly 3 decades and had become one of the most familiar coins in circulation across America. The absence of a mint mark below the date confirms that this coin was produced in Philadelphia, the primary minting facility of the United States. On the obverse, we see Abraham Lincoln's profile, facing right, with "In God We Trust" inscribed. Above his head, to the left of the portrait, is the word Liberty, while the date 1938 appears to the right. On the reverse, the coin features the iconic wheat ears design. 2 wheat stalks curve upward along the left and right edges, enclosing the bold inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Across the top is the motto E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. Your coin is described as being in very fine VF condition with some scratches. In numismatic grading, very fine indicates a coin that shows moderate wear from circulation but still retains strong detail. On the obverse, Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and most of his hair are visible, although the high points show flattening. The lettering is clear, and the rims remain intact. On the reverse, the wheat stalks are well defined on the outer edges, and some inner line detail is still visible. The scratches reduce overall eye appeal, but are common for coins that circulated for decades. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 156 million wheat pennies in 1938, which makes this date relatively common among wheat cents. As a result, circulated examples are widely available to collectors and do not command high premiums. However, high-grade examples in mint state condition, particularly those with strong red luster, are much scarcer and can bring significant value in terms of value. A 1938 Lincoln wheat sent from Philadelphia in very fine condition with scratches generally sells for around 20 to 40 cents in today's market. In higher circulated grades, such as extremely fine, values can reach 50 cents to $1. About uncirculated examples often sell for $2 to $4, while uncirculated coins start at around $5 to $10. Premium quality mint state pieces with full red luster graded MS65 or higher may bring $50 to $150 or more, depending on demand and overall eye appeal. The 1938 cent does not have any famous major varieties, but like many Lincoln cents, there are minor die varieties such as repunched dates, doubled dies, or die cracks, which can be of interest to specialize collectors. Rare mint errors, including off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, or other striking mistakes, can also add significant premiums, sometimes ranging from $25 to $100 plus, depending on the type and condition of the error. Next up, the Washington quarter dated 1981 with a D mint mark from Denver is often mistaken for being silver. But it is important to clarify that by this year, all quarters struck for circulation were made of copper-nickel clad, not silver. The last regular silver quarters were minted in 1964. Starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint changed the composition to a pure copper core sandwiched between copper-nickel layers, and this became the standard through the late 20th century. The only way a 1981 quarter could be silver is if it came from a special collector-only proof set, and those were not struck with a D mint mark. So, your 1981 D quarter is the clad type, not silver. On the obverse, the coin shows the classic portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan with Liberty above, In God We Trust to the left, and the date 1981 below. The D mint mark is placed to the right of Washington's hair ribbon, signifying the Denver Mint. The reverse continues the long-running eagle design, with the bird perched on a bundle of arrows, olive branches beneath, and inscriptions, including United States of America, e pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. Your coin is described as having a black color shade, being dirty, and showing scratches. This appearance is usually the result of heavy circulation and environmental exposure. Coins that spend decades in pockets, purses, and cash registers often darken or tone due to contact with moisture, oils, and air pollutants. Collectors generally prefer clean, original-looking coins, so dark coloration combined with scratches lowers the appeal. In terms of grading, a coin in dirty circulated condition with scratches is typically in the good to very good range, possibly fine if the details remain visible but worn. Washington's hair on such coins will be smooth, and the eagle's feathers on the reverse are flattened dot in the current coin market. A 1981 D quarter in this kind of condition is worth its face value of 25 cents. These coins were minted in the hundreds of millions, so there is no shortage. Dealers and collectors do not pay extra for circulated scratched examples. At most, if offered individually online, such a coin might bring 50 cents to $1 if a buyer specifically wants the date and mint mark for a collection. Value rises only for coins in higher grades. Uncirculated 1981D. Quarters with original luster and nowhere can sell for $2 to $5. Certified mint state examples graded MS65 might bring $20 to $30. And the finest known pieces graded MS67 have sold for well over $100 at auction. But these values apply only to coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, not circulated, dirty, or scratched ones. There is also the chance of rare mint errors. Quarters struck off-center on miscut planchettes or with doubled dies can carry significant premiums. Some Aero 1981D quarters have sold for tens or even hundreds of dollars. Another rare but fascinating possibility is a wrong planchette strike. For example, if a quarter design was accidentally struck on a dime or foreign coin blank. But such errors are extremely scarce and would require professional evaluation. Next up, the 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with an S. Mint mark was struck at the San Francisco Mint, making it one of the key regional issues of the wheat cent series. The year 1944 was notable in American history because it was during the final years of World War II. After the 1943 steel pennies, the mint returned to using mostly copper, with many coins produced from recycled shell casings. This means that each 1944 cent carries a direct historical connection to the war effort. And the S mint mark identifies it as coming from San Francisco, one of the smaller U.S. mints. On the obverse, the coin features Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above Lincoln's head is the motto "In God We Trust," with liberty to the left and the date 1944 to the right. The small S mint mark appears just below the date, indicating San Francisco production. On the reverse, the familiar wheat ears. Design is displayed with two stylized wheat stalks curving along the edges, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. At the top is the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. Your coin is described as being in good condition with some scratches, which means it has clearly circulated and shows wear from decades of handling. In numismatic terms, this places it roughly in the good to fine range. On the obverse Lincoln's facial details and hair are flattened, though his profile remains recognizable, and the lettering is still legible. On the reverse, the wheat stalks show outlines, but the interior details are mostly worn away. Scratches and surface marks reduce eye appeal, but they are common on coins of this age and circulation. The San Francisco Mint struck over 24 million wheat cents in 1944, significantly fewer than the Philadelphia or Denver mints, which makes the 1944s somewhat scarcer in lower circulated grades compared to the other mints. While it is still a common date, collectors looking for San Francisco examples may pay slightly higher prices for coins in collectible condition. In terms of value, a 1944's Lincoln wheat penny in good condition with scratches is generally worth around 15 to 25 cents in today's market. In higher circulated grades such as fine or very fine, the value can rise to 50 cents to $1. About uncirculated examples typically sell for $1.50 to $3. While uncirculated coins with better color and strike can fetch $5 to $10. High-grade red or red-brown mint state examples, especially MS65 or higher, may command $50 to $150 at auction, depending on eye appeal and demand, while the 1944S does not have widely known major varieties. There are minor collector interests such as die cracks, repunched mint marks, or small, doubled dies. More significant mint errors, such as off-center strikes or clipped planchettes, are rare and can add a premium, sometimes selling for $20 to $100 or more, depending on the rarity of the error. Next up, the Washington quarter dated 1989 with a P mint mark from Philadelphia is often mistaken for being silver. But it is important to point out that by this time, all circulation strikes were made of copper-nickel clad, not silver. The United States Mint stopped issuing 90% silver quarters for everyday use after 1964, from 1965 through 1998. All regular quarters struck for circulation were the clad type with a pure copper core and copper-nickel outer layers. Only a few special collector issues produced in proof sets were made in silver during the 1980s. and those were not struck with a P mint mark for general circulation. So, if your coin is a 1989 P quarter from pocket change or rolls, it is a clad example and does not contain silver. The obverse design of the 1989 quarter features the portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with the word Liberty above, "In God We Trust" to the left, the date 1989 at the bottom, and the mint mark P to the right of Washington's hair ribbon. The reverse carries the long-used heraldic eagle with spread wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, surrounded by the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter. This design remained in place until the introduction of the statehood quarters program in 1999. The coin you describe is in dirty, circulated condition with scratches. In the grading scale, this places it in the lower circulated range, somewhere around good to very good condition, or at best, fine. A coin in this state shows significant wear, with flattened details in Washington's hair and on the reverse. The eagle's feathers are smoothed out. Dirt and scratches further reduce collector appeal because they detract from the coin's eye appeal. Collectors of modern clad coins usually seek uncirculated or near-circulated examples. So circulated pieces with visible damage rarely bring more than face value. In today's market, 1989 P Washington quarter in dirty circulated condition with scratches is worth its face value of 25 cents. Dealers and collectors generally do not pay a premium for these coins since hundreds of millions were produced. If offered at auction online, one might occasionally bring 50 cents to $1 if a buyer specifically needs the date and mint mark for an album. But in practice, most such coins are only worth face. The situation improves somewhat in higher grades. Uncirculated 1989 P quarters can sell for $500 to $1,000, and certified mint state examples in grades MS65 and higher can bring $15 to $30. The best preserved coins at MS67 have sold for over $100 at auction. But those are rare exceptions requiring pristine condition. Proof coins struck in 1989, which were sold directly to collectors, carry their own premium, especially the silver-proof versions from special sets. But those are different from the standard circulation issue with the P mint mark. There are also rare air coins from this year that command strong prices. Examples struck off-center on the wrong planchette, or with doubling can sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars depending on the severity of the error. A transitional wrong planchette coin weighing 6.25 grams would indicate a silver planchette was used. But that would be incredibly rare for 1989 and would need professional authentication. The normal clad weight is 5.67 grams, and most examples are standard clad pieces. Next up, the 1952 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint and is part of the later years of the wheat cent series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. By 1952, the Lincoln cent was a familiar and widely used coin in everyday American life, continuing to carry the portrait of the first U.S. President, Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The small D mint mark beneath the date identifies this coin as coming from Denver, one of the main production facilities in the United States. On the obverse, the coin features Lincoln's right-facing portrait. Above his head is the motto "In God We Trust." To the left is the word Liberty, and to the right is the date 1952, followed by the small D mint mark. The reverse carries the traditional wheat ears design, with two stylized stalks framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. At the top is the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. Your coin is described as being in damaged condition with some scratches, which indicates heavy wear, surface marks, or possibly bending or corrosion. In numismatic terms, damaged coins are typically valued lower because they have lost much of their original eye appeal and structural integrity. even though the design elements are partially visible. Lincoln's facial details, hair, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are likely worn or obscured. Scratches, dents, or discoloration further reduce collector demand. Despite its condition, the 1952D wheat penny was a common issue, with the Denver Mint striking over 746 million coins that year. This high mintage makes it easy to find circulated examples, meaning that most coins of this date are readily available to collectors and casual buyers alike. For value, a 1952D Lincoln wheat penny in damaged condition with scratches is typically worth around 5 to 10 cents in today's market. Coins in better circulated condition, such as good to fine, may fetch 10 to 25 cents, while extremely fine examples are valued at 50 cents to $1. About uncirculated coins can sell for $1 to $3, and uncirculated mint state examples with bright red luster and no damage may range from $3 to $10. High grade, well-preserved examples in MS65 or higher can reach $25 or more. But coins with damage or heavy wear do not reach these levels, while the 1952D does not have any major key date varieties. Collectors sometimes look for minor features like repunched, mint marks, die cracks, or doubling on the obverse. More dramatic, mint errors such as off-center strikes or clipped planchettes may increase value. But in a heavily damaged coin, these premiums are often reduced because the coin's overall condition limits collector appeal. Next up, the Washington quarter dated 1979 without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. And it is very important to clarify that this coin is not silver. Many people assume quarters from the 1970s might contain silver, but all regular. Circulation quarters produced from 1965 onward were made from copper-nickel clad over a pure copper core. The only silver Washington quarters after 1964 were special collector-proof issues sold by the Mint in later decades, and those were clearly labeled as silver. If your 1979 quarter came from circulation and has no mint mark, it is the standard. Clad version, the obverse shows the familiar portrait of George Washington with the word Liberty above. In God We Trust to the left, and the date 1979 beneath the portrait. Because it was struck in Philadelphia, there is no mint mark next to the hair ribbon. The reverse carries the heraldic eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below. This was the long-running design used since 1932 and still in place until the state quarters program started in 1999. Your coin is described as being in fine condition with some scratches. In coin grading, fine is a circulated grade that indicates moderate wear but with all major details still visible. On a 1979 quarter in fine condition, Washington's hair will be noticeably worn but with some separations still visible in the design, and the eagle on the back will show flatness on the wings and body but remain recognizable. Scratches lower. Eye appeal, especially on modern common coins, since collectors prefer examples without distracting marks. A coin with both wear and scratches is considered an ordinary circulated example rather than a collectible premium piece. In today's market, a 1979 Philadelphia Washington quarter in fine condition with scratches is typically worth its face value of 25 cents. Because the mintage was so high, dealers and collectors have no shortage of them. If listed individually on an auction site, such a coin might bring up to 50 cents or perhaps $1, but in most cases, buyers only pay face value. Dealers rarely pay more since they already handle them in bulk. Higher grade coins show stronger value. Lightly circulated or about uncirculated examples may sell for $1 or $2. Uncirculated coins in mint state 62-63 often range from $3 to $10, depending on eye appeal. Certified mint state coins in MS65 and above can bring $20 to $40. And superb examples at MS67 may sell for significantly more since relatively few survive in pristine condition. But these higher prices apply only to coins that never circulated. Not to scratched circulated pieces. One special area where a 1979's quarter might carry surprising value is mint errors. Some quarters from the late 1970s have been found with doubled dies, clipped planchettes, or off-center strikes. These errors can sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars, depending on severity. If you believe your coin has unusual features beyond normal wear and scratches, examining it under magnification or weighing it could help determine if it is special. The standard clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Any major difference might indicate a wrong planchette error for your coin. However, given that it is in fine condition with scratches and no unusual features mentioned, the realistic auction market value today is about 25 cents to $1. It is not silver, it is not scarce, and its condition limits its desirability to collectors. It remains, however, a piece of U.S. coinage history from the late 1970s. Part of the long-running Washington Quarter series that bridged the gap between silver coinage of earlier decades and the modern clad coinage that continues today. Next up, the 1937 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, making it a classic example of the widely collected wheat cent series that ran from 1909 to 1958. By 1937, Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln had been a familiar part of American coinage for nearly 3 decades. Coins like this were an essential part of everyday commerce during the late Great Depression, circulating widely among the American public. The absence of a mint mark below the date confirms that this coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. On the obverse, the coin features Lincoln's right-facing portrait. Above his head is the motto "In God We Trust," with liberty to the left and a date 1937 to the right. The reverse displays the classic wheat ears design, with 2 stylized wheat stalks along the left and right edges, enclosing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Across the top is the motto "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many. 1. Your coin is described as being in extra fine XF condition with some scratches, which indicates that it has been lightly circulated but still retains most of the original detail. In extra fine condition, Lincoln's cheek, jawline, laned, and hair retain strong definition, with only minor wear on the highest points of the design. On the reverse, the wheat stalks remain sharply detailed, though the finest interior lines may show. Slight flattening. Scratches reduce the coin's visual appeal, but do not significantly detract from the overall preservation of the design. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 66 million wheat pennies in 1937, making it a relatively common date. While circulated examples are readily available, coins in higher grades, especially extra fine and uncirculated, are more desirable to collectors. The strong demand for well-preserved 1937 cents ensures that coins in XF condition still have notable value compared to heavily worn examples in terms of market value. A 1937 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in extra fine condition with minor scratches generally sells for around $2 to $4 today. In about uncirculated condition, values may increase to $5 to $10. While uncirculated red or red-brown examples can range from $10 to $20. High-grade mint state coins, particularly those with vibrant original red luster, can command $50 to $150, or more depending on the grade and overall eye appeal. Though the 1937 Philadelphia cent does not have major key date varieties, collectors may be interested in minor die varieties, including repunched dates, double dies, and die cracks. Exceptional error coins, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, or other striking anomalies can significantly increase value, sometimes selling for $20 to $100 plus, depending on rarity and condition. To summarize, your 1937 Lincoln Wheat penny, without mint mark in extra fine condition with scratches, holds a value of roughly $2 to $4 in today's market. While not a rare date, it remains a desirable collectible for those building a complete wheat cent set or seeking coins with historical significance. Even lightly circulated, it represents a tangible connection to pre-World War II America, when pennies were a vital part of daily life and commerce. Next up, the Washington quarter dated 1996 with a P mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. And it is very important to make clear that this coin is not silver. By 1996, all quarters minted for everyday circulation were made of the copper nickel clad composition, a pure copper core with outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. The United States Mint had stopped issuing 90% silver quarters for circulation back in 1964. After that, the only silver Washington quarters produced were special collector pieces, such as proofs and silver sets sold directly to collectors. It's not the ones with a P mint mark intended for circulation. If your 1996 quarter has the P mint mark and came from change or rolls, it is definitely the clad version, not silver. The design is the familiar one that had been used since 1932. The obverse features John Flanagan's portrait of George Washington, with Liberty above, In God We Trust to the left, the date 1996 at the bottom, and the mint mark P placed to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon. The reverse still carries the heraldic eagle with wings spread, standing on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below. This was actually one of the last years this eagle reverse appeared on quarters before the state quarters program began. In 1999, which makes it a little more nostalgic for collectors, even if it is not especially rare, your coin is described as being in bad condition, with a black color shade, scratches, and heavy wear. The black shade typically comes from environmental exposure coins stored in damp areas. Buried in the ground or exposed to chemicals or fire, can darken or tone dramatically. Collectors usually avoid such coins unless they are rare, which the 1996 P is not. In terms of grading, a coin in bad condition falls into the lower circulated categories, such as about good, good, or possibly very good if the major details remain visible. The portrait of Washington would be very flat, the lettering dull, and the eagle on the reverse lacking most of its feather detail. Scratches reduce the eye appeal further, which is important because collectors of modern coins usually look for attractive, problem-free examples. In today's market, a 1996 P quarter in this state is worth its face value of 25 cents. These coins were struck in the hundreds of millions, and even in circulated condition, they remain extremely common. Dealers generally will not pay more than face value for them, since they have boxes and bags full of similar pieces. If listed at an auction or online sale, such a coin might bring 50 cents to $1 if someone wants to fill an album slot and doesn't mind the condition. But realistically, it trades at face value. The situation changes only for higher grade examples. An uncirculated 1996 P quarter with full luster and no wear can sell for $2 to $5. Certified mint state coins graded MS65 or better can reach $15 to $25. And the highest end survivors at MS67 have been known to sell for over $100 in major auctions. Since finding a flawless coin from this mintage is difficult, proof versions of 1996 quarters struck in San Francisco, including 90% silver proofs, are worth more as collector items, but those coins are clearly different from your circulated Philadelphia mint piece. There is always the chance of an error coin, which can dramatically raise value. A 1996 quarter struck off-center on the wrong planchette, or with doubling in the design, could bring tens or even hundreds of dollars depending on rarity. A genuine transitional or wrong metal error would be worth even more. To check, you could weigh the coin. The clad version weighs 5.67 grams, while a silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams. If your coin is closer to the heavier weight, it might be an unusual silver planchette error, and such errors are extremely rare. And most 1996p quarters are normal clad strikes. For your specific coin, 1996p, Washington quarter. Black shade, bad condition, scratched. And circulated, the realistic value in today's market is about 25 cents to $1. It is a common, modern coin that does not carry a silver premium, and the condition prevents it from having much collector interest. Still, it holds interest as one of the final eagle reverse quarters before the state quarters transformed U.S. coinage just a few years later.